Thank you guys for joining me for another episode of Keeping It Real with America's Supermom. I am excited to have my next guest. I have Tanya here. We actually were connected because we were speakers at a global summit. We were connected with Angelica, can't remember the last name. Underwood is one of the names, though. So we want to give her a shout out and thank her for
Yes,
the Healing Summit. Discover Your Inner
yes,
Healing was the name of the summit. And we got to be graced with Joe Vitale, who talked to us about it was the prayer. Lord, I can't remember. I can't think of how to pronounce it, but
yep.
it
The
was
law of
such the law of
attraction.
attraction, but it was like
Yep.
I love you, thank you, I'm sorry, please forgive me. It was like 4
Is one.
affirmations that we say. Yeah. So, really excited about that. And I'm glad this is an unscripted show. So I know you're like, what is she talking about? But, these things happen. Okay. I am 50. I just celebrated my 50th birthday. So sometimes I can have senior moments. But before we get into our interview, I want to give Tanya the opportunity to tell us a little bit about herself.
Yeah, well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for allowing me to come on your platform. I'm very honored. I'm just very honored. So thank you so much for that. I think you're an absolute delight, and it's been my pleasure working with you, getting connected with you. So thank you for that. And I just found out, by the way, that you have 15 children. I'm like, whoa, that's amazing. I mean, dude, you are the real deal right here. So seriously, like everyone in America should be listening to this show right here, because I mean, I take my hat off to you. You're an amazing, amazing woman, and
Thank,
so I appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely, I
thank you.
appreciate you, because I was just telling you, my daughter has 5 children, and twins. Two of those are twins, and they're 6 months, all little girls, and I see what it takes to run a household with 5 children, all under the age of 10. And so my hat is off to you. You have to be a CEO, you have to be your own businesswoman. I mean, it goes on and on and
Mhm,
on.
mhm.
So I can appreciate the realness of that, and and making your home a home, and so that's invaluable, and I think that's core to our society. It's core to our culture, and it's just paramount to have healthy homes, and I didn't say perfect homes. I said
Amen.
healthy homes. So,
Amen.
as long, if a home, I don't know why I'm talking like this right now, but
It's good. Mhm.
if a home has love in it, then that's more than enough, and
Amen.
real love. And so,
Mhm.
anyways, just to tell you a little bit about me, my name is Tanya Simmons. Yes, nice to meet you all. Super excited to be here today. I'm the founder of the Global Empowerment Firm, which we teach and equip with motivational speakers, and we bring people together in business and whatnot like that. I'm also the CEO and founder of Healing for the Nations. So that is basically a foundation ministry outreach. Complete nonprofit. We're in incorporation now, but we're in a status of getting our 501c3. And we just launched our UK division, which is super exciting. Mr. Saf Buxey is an overseer and trustee of that department. And so we are actually starting to work with NGOs in India, Pakistan, all over the globe. And we do work in Pakistan currently. We actually are purchasing some land and starting an orphanage there. We have ran several food programs and outreaches this past year in Pakistan, Karachi, as well as the remote village of Seen. And especially when Pakistan was flooded, we were getting a team of doctors and dentists together in order to bring humanitarian relief as well. We've planted a mission school in the remote village of Seen. We started out with 32 kids, and now we're up to 68, 72 children. They're taught English. The reason why that's so important is because education is a gateway. And so when children don't have education, they sometimes are taken into what's called a bricklayer's uh, kind of environment. And so I've actually talked to some children and adults as well that they actually create bricks. They make the bricks, and it's a very hard life. And they lay the bricks down for buildings and whatnot. But I've seen kids as young as 5 and 6 do this. And so, yeah, and so that's why education's so important, right? It gives them a gateway and an outlet, not to go into that slavery, so to speak. So, yeah. So, anyways, and then we planted a water well. We're planting some water wells as well. So that's an initiative of Healing for the Nations, clean water, obviously food, taking care of people, physically, and we believe in wholeness. Wholeness spiritually, emotionally, and physically. So we're
Yeah.
starting to obviously grow partnerships and do incredible things that way. We're planning a huge fundraising event in the UK later this year. So I'm excited about that. And all the profits, everything goes back into the work of in these nations. So SAF doesn't get it paid. I don't get paid, of course, but everything goes back into these nations. So excited about that. Um, Oh my goodness. What else? I've been in the healthcare field for about 26 years now. I've done speaking, obviously academic speaking. My background is neuroscience oncology, ENT
Mhm.
oncology. I am a registered nurse. I'm working on my family nurse practitioner program now. And so I'm excited to do that so that I'd be able to help diagnose, treat people overseas and that type of thing. So yeah, so I'm super excited to be able to do all that. I also am a financial coach. And so we just launched I have a partner. I have a couple of partners, but the founder is Kathy Warshaw. She is from California. And
Mhm.
so it's a global platform of coaches, wellness, health, weight loss, nutrition, obviously, and then finances. And
Mhm.
so I'm the financial coach. What I do is we're about to launch a whole new program. I've got multiple courses, and so with those courses, we start out with what's your relationship with money? What is that like? Let's talk about that, healing that relationship, then moving on to establishing, financial goals and debt reduction and things of that nature. And so I'm excited to be able to help empower women in order to, be more successful in their life. Financially, we need that. We all need that. And
Mhm.
so I'm excited about that. I also have global teams in India. We're just launching India right now, but Pakistan, Africa, and North America and Canada as well. Um, Teams in international currency trading. So what that means is how to basically trade on a $6 trillion market and learn how to compound your money with interest. That's
Mhm.
the eighth wonder of the world. And so
Mhm.
learning how to leverage your money and truly be successful in that. So that's what my passion is to see people free,
Mhm.
spiritually free, emotionally free, and physically free. And, finances has a big part to
Mhm.
play in that. And
Mhm.
so, money is a tool. And so we need money. And so I don't want people to be ignorant of
Mhm.
how to grow your money. You need multiple streams of income. You need that. You need to diversify. You need a
Mhm.
portfolio. What does that look like? What does your IRA look like? Those types of things. So yeah, that's what I do.
I
So
love
that's
that.
and most importantly, I am a mom. And so yes, that's my number one, actually.
Amen. That
Yeah,
is
and
awesome.
yes, sister. I
Uh,
am I've been widowed. I've been divorced too,
mm,
and now I am currently single.
mhm,
But my whole point being is that my children are just such a gift and a delight.
mhm,
And I have my oldest is Hannah. She's 27,
mhm.
and Mary. They're just doing real great. And then my son is 26. He is wonderful. His name is Levi. Shout out. And he's
Mhm,
great. I talked to him last night. Very successful businessman. And then my
mhm.
daughter, my little miss, is Miss Ava Grace, and she is 11. And
Oh,
so she's a delight. She is amazing, and I think she's my BFF as well.
awesome. I love
But
it. Look,
yeah,
I have a few that are under 10, so, I'm the BFF for right now until they get to that middle school thing going on. But,
right,
um,
exactly,
then they don't have time.
exactly.
It's like, you don't know what you're talking about, they know more, that type of thing, so I get that. But,
Yep, exactly.
so I think the first thing I would ask is I love
Yeah,
the work with the community, the charity, the giving, with being a part of an organization. And then you have the money making aspect of your different businesses. So I think the question right now, when we're in this phase of a rebuilding from 2020, and people have been helping others and doing what they can to kind of keep the economy going and
yeah,
looking out for other people that need help. How do you
yes,
balance between the volunteer servanthood type of work and the work that's monetizing and paying your bills? Because
yeah.
some
For
people kind of get caught up in that right now.
Yeah, so I'm also a nurse, so I have that nursing income as well, of course. So my point being, a professor and a bedside nurse, and so I've got multiple streams. But my point being is that I obviously believe in tithing, of course, and whatnot,
Mhm.
and there's people that don't, but whatever. As far as me and my conviction, I do give back, and I give a big. So here's how I do this, right? For me, it's not separate. For me, it's all together. So I want to say that again. For me, it's not separate, it's all together. So how I see this is, can you hear me okay? As long as you can
Mhm.
hear me.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So for me, it's together. So what does that mean? That means this. In order for me to help people successfully, I have to have money. Okay. Broke people can't help broke people. And so, in order to give back, and that's all the heart of it, I have to have something to give back. First, I have to take care of my family. Okay. And obviously I'm a believer, so I need to, I believe in helping, my local church as well and giving back there. But I'm also a minister too. So what I'm doing is ministry. And so what we do is I, obviously give into the work of the kingdom, but then I also take care of my family for, obviously, and then I give back into the nations. And so what I like to say is this: on 10, say, 10% give,
Mhm.
10% save,
Mhm.
10% invest. Then you have another 10% for like projects, vacation, whatever that would be. And then you try to do your best to be disciplined to live off your 60%. And
Mhm.
so, that is something that I try to abide by, and I live by.
Mhm.
So that gives you a little bit of outline. So for me, it's not something separate. It's very easy, actually.
Mhm.
So in other words, I help teach, train, and equip people to get financially free. right? And to live like that, okay? And to understand money, to understand that it's a tool, to understand how to use it, to understand those types of things, right? To be financially free so that them in turn can help other people. Okay. That's my whole vision. So, in other words, I'm doing that in order to help people help other people and
I
become
love that.
free. Yeah, to become free where, so we're helping people in Fiji right now become free. We're helping people in remote islands become free. And so, and that's empowerment, right? And that is it's an upgrade in their lifestyle. It's an upgrade in their community. It's an upgrade which affects their city, which then affects their nation. Okay. And so that's everything for me. It's tying in as one purpose, honestly. And
I
so I
love that. I mean, and
yeah.
I mean that is so good because people that are watching now, they're like on this fence of, or even the fact that, during the pandemic when people didn't have income and they, gave them things for free. So now it's that switching over to getting something or converting to having them pay when people can. And so it's kind of a touchy subject because some people are challenged with making that transition.
Right. And it's absolutely true. And we see that in 2020, a lot of small businesses and businesses in general, we see, big business industry, big retail companies, they went under. We see big restaurant chains went under. They just weren't equipped to make the transition in a digital space. And
Mhm,
so what we do is in a digital space. It is digital. Everything is digital. So
mhm,
that, I mean, I could be working at my gym and doing it, and which I have.
mhm,
I mean, I could make, for instance, I mean, I don't want to drop percentages, but in
mhm,
one day I grew my account by 8%, and when you look at that 8% just in one day, meh, but when you compound it day
mhm,
upon day upon day, then you need to think about that, right?
mhm,
So this isn't a get rich quick scheme. This is about building your, working and building your profit, knowing how to compound your profit.
mhm,
Say for instance, this is a true story. I have it printed out right here. Actually, see all these numbers through
mhm,
the compound calculator. Okay, so say if you, Lachelle, wanted to invest $100, okay,
mhm,
and you started learning, right? You started learning how to do international currency trading.
mhm,
So let's just say you wanted to grow your account by 3%, okay, and you didn't want to work on weekends because we don't anyways. So
mhm,
we times that by 260 days, okay. You reinvest 100% of your profit, okay. You grow your account consistently by 3%, okay, which
mhm,
takes discipline. Okay.
mhm,
What you put in is what you're going to get out.
mhm,
So nothing comes for free. Okay.
mhm.
But you work it 3% every day. By this time next year, you'll have around $274,000 by this time next year in that one trading account.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
So,
think that,
so, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but it's
you're good.
important. This is
Mhm,
important for people to
mhm,
understand. They must have multiple streams of income. And
mhm,
going through the pandemic, Lachelle, we just realized even more so now than ever that we need that. We
mhm.
need that not just to survive, but to thrive. You
So
better
true.
have you better have an exit strategy. You better
So
have
true.
another form of income coming in. And here's the thing, you don't want, thank God for the government checks and whatnot. But you know
Right.
what? We were called to walk in dominion. We were called to walk in authority. We were called to take back the wealth of the nations. And what does that mean? The wealth transfer. So I could go on and talk about this, but it just
Mhm.
means that we are called, we need to recognize what we're called to, and how we are called to affect and help people's lives. So I have something called profit for purpose. It's a landing page. Anyone can go there. iSuccessBrand.com/profit for purpose. And we could set up a call, and I would love to talk more about it. Yeah.
I love that. And, I think a lot of times because we don't know something, we just ignore it, deny it, pretend it doesn't exist instead of inquiring and finding out ways that we can empower ourselves with knowledge. So, for somebody who is like, I just have my job, what would be a small baby step they can take to start that road to another stream of income?
I'm sorry. I think you kind of broke up there. Can you repeat that for me, please?
I said, so for somebody who is just starting out and they just work in their job, but they want to start with another stream of income, what's a baby step they can take for starting that?
Oh, as far as developing another stream of income?
Mhm, mhm,
Is that what you're saying? How they can take a baby step? I
mhm,
think. Okay. Okay. So I can just speak from experience, and
mhm,
experience brings credibility to the table. Um, you, first of all, you have to have a want to. You have to have a desire to create a multiple stream of income. You know, another stream of income, because people have been so how should I put this, so in the thought of, I go to college, I get out alone, I go to college, I graduate, I get married, I have the two kids, I have the picket fence, I have the house, which I went into debt for. Um, I working a 40-hour week, 60-hour week, I'm bringing home a minimum paycheck, and that's it.
mhm,
And some people are happy with that. Okay.
mhm,
Some people are just happy with not knowing what they don't know and being in the status, whatever. They're just happy
mhm,
with that. Like,
mhm,
I've had people tell me that couldn't rub two pennies together, and they were like, I'm happy. Like, I'm
mhm,
satisfied with this. I'm good. So first of all, they have to have a want to, right?
mhm,
They need to want to make a difference, and they need to they need to have that desire, first of all.
mhm,
When they do have that desire, because it comes with passion, it comes with vision. And so when they do have that desire, they're going to start to feel uncomfortable where they're at. So then comes an just being uncomfortable, right?
mhm,
Before any transition, there comes just a feeling of uncomfortability, not being comfortable where they're at. So then that's what drives us to learn more. That's what drives us to want to be different, to know different, right? To seek
mhm,
out something different. And so once they hit that stage, which is a transitional stage in their development, then they start seeking out mentors, or they start seeking out people that have been very successful, that have what they want, right? And so then you start making new connections. Then you start developing new social networks. Then you start actively seeking out people who can have what you want, but and have similar like-mindedness, right? That's important in
mhm,
business or in anything. When you start to make those business connections with
mhm,
like-minded people. Okay. So for me, giving back is huge. That's the reason why I'm doing this. And so I want to see people being impacted, change. I need to see results. And so that's what drives me.
mhm,
There's a good driven, and there's a not so good driven. But when you are driven with vision and passion and impact and purpose, then there's something more. Okay. So we are called to gain more territory, whether it's, in every area of our life. We are called to grow, excel, and be abundant. Okay. And so sometimes you have to recognize the limiting beliefs that we may carry. I had to break some of that off of my life, and I had to recognize what's holding me back in this area. What are my thoughts in this area? The environment I was raised with What did that say to me about money? Like, healing those, how should I say it, the belief system that you carry, and that type of thing. So, I would say I think it comes with desire and passion, wanting to know more, wanting to learn more. Um, for instance, the wealthy, when you're wealthy, there's a mindset change. There's a different perspective. The old poverty mindset has to go. It's not just this is enough. It's about building wealth and generational wealth, leaving a legacy for your children and your children's children.
Mhm.
And so, for that to happen, you have to have a whole different level of mindset. And
Mhm.
so, some people don't want to break out of that mindset that I found. Some people want to, and they're willing to put in the work and they're willing to do the steps that it takes to make that happen. And
Mhm.
so, and it takes time. Growing wealth doesn't just happen. You hear about these get rich quick schemes. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about consistently on a day to day basis, knowing how to be a good steward, an excellent steward of your money, and knowing how to navigate and grow wealth, real wealth. That's what I'm
Mhm.
talking about.
I love
So the people on the New York Stock Exchange, the people, how do you think the traders get where they're at? How do you think, because they have knowledge that we don't. They have an understanding of the financial markets that we may not have. And so here's an opportunity to learn and to genuinely learn and to earn and to know what other people know who, and I'm telling you, I've made great contacts, Lachelle, like I'm sure you have, with
Mhm.
people who are multimillionaires and billionaires. And I'm like, wow, their whole mindset's different. The way they operate's different. The way they
Mhm.
take charge of their finances is different.
Mhm.
And I think it's time that we walk in that. We are called to that. It's time to walk in that, and and that's where taking dominion in that area comes in.
I love that. And,
Yeah.
I love the way that you mention the work. I was talking to somebody yesterday about the concept of the microwave
Yeah.
society that we have. You've got the generation that, they can get things at their fingertips. You can look it up on Google and it's there. You don't have to go get an encyclopedia or a dictionary or whatever. You get all this wealth of information.
Yeah.
And the Lord spoke to me and said, one thing about the microwave is when you put something in there, it's a product that's already made. So, with that being said, you don't know the journey that went to getting that product. So, it's hard for you to maintain it because you don't know what the building blocks were.
Yeah.
So, you can have a situation where you can get this template or whatever, but it's a system, it's a process that you can't just skip the parts that you don't want to be around and think that you're going to maintain the longevity of whatever it is. So that's why you can have situations where you can get money quick. We talk about lotteries. People get money winning the lottery and then a year later they don't have any money, you know.
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And so that becomes a situation with what is their belief system about money, and what are the types of things they value, and because we're just sometimes it may just be you're not taught. We're just not
Mhm.
taught these things. And so, it shouldn't be a surprise why people are living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's not what we're called to do. And so and then I'm talking about being able to truly help people in that way, being able to do good and help people with purpose. And so I think it's important to honestly grow and learn every day.
Mhm.
Right now I'm learning more and more about real estate, and so investors and starting a company and how to do that and those types of things. I think that it's okay to not know right now. It's
Mhm.
not okay not to know and not to go. What I mean by that is staying ignorant or not learning is just not an option. We have,
Right.
like what you said, is we have so much technology at our fingertips. There's really no excuse,
So
honestly.
true.
And so, we are called to create wealth.
Mhm.
Let that sink in a little
I
bit.
love that. Yeah.
Hello. So, Lachelle, you're too creative to ever be broke.
Right. Well, and I've looked up the word innovation, and it's like it just simply is ideas and what did it say? Ideas, events, or I can't quite remember the definition, but we innovate every day with our head, with the
Every day.
ideas. So the
Every
thing
day.
about it is that's why you have to write it down because you have so many that you can't capture.
That's right.
And once you write it down, you have to take action. So we can write it all
Hello.
down, but it's sitting up here on the table, on the shelf, and you're not taking any action and wondering why you don't have your needs met when you've got the tools. You're just not using your faith to make it happen. So I get
That's
that.
right. That's right,
Yeah.
Lachelle. That's right. And you know what? I mean, we've all been there. There's
Mhm.
no judgment to anyone that's in that
Right.
place or been there or whatever.
Hmm.
I mean, yeah, some days there's a push. This
Right.
is real talk. Let's talk real. Some days
Mhm.
there is a push. Some days I don't feel like it. Some days I want to do other things. Sometimes but it means to be disciplined. Your destiny is today. Your destiny is the choices you make today. Your destiny is not about 5 years, 10 years from now. You are creating your destiny today. And so big doors, I like to say this, big doors swing on little hinges. And so that is your little decisions, the things that you seem to think, those won't matter. But those are the things that absolutely matter. Like you
So
were saying, your routine habit in the morning. What do we do to get ourselves going? Our thought processes, all of those things, your words of affirmation, stating, your I am statements, where you're headed, where you're going. All those things are super important, and coming full circle, taking care of ourselves are fully important too, and I'm learning that more and more and more every day. We talked a little bit about that, taking care of yourself, making sure you're getting enough sleep. Those things are important, to fulfill your purpose, to
so
fulfill
true.
what you're called to do. You can't take care of everything you need to take care of if you're not eating properly, getting yourself enough rest, taking care of you, Lachelle, and spiritually as well. I mean, yeah, so that's super important, and that's all about wholeness as well,
So
prospering in your soul, being
make your
whole,
soul
right?
prosperous. Yeah.
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
And so, and we all have those, how should I put it, those real moments. I'd love to say that I don't have any real moments, but we know that would be a fat lie. I mean, of course I have those moments. Of course I have those moments where I'm breaking down and I'm crying. I'm going, Lord, how is this going to work out? Or what do I do with this situation? I mean, that's all real. That's real
Mhm.
talk.
So
And
true.
yeah, I
You
mean,
just can't stay there. I think that's
yeah,
the thing. A lot of people see everyone's highlight reel,
come on.
and they think
And
like,
the
we were talking
story, the
we were
Facebook
talking
story.
before. It's so funny because, it's like, hey, I don't have it together. I have two middle school kids that just don't want to get on the program. So
Yeah,
everybody's like, what? 8 kids, e-learning, you must be organized. I'm like, hey, I'm learning like y'all.
that's right.
Tell me how I can get these two on the right program because that I'm getting calls about them not being in class and I'm here with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
No, I
it's
mean,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, but isn't that the beauty of community? Isn't that the
Mhm.
beauty of needing each other? Isn't that the beauty of connecting with like-minded, strong, women and men who, I mean, have vision and purpose and are doing similar things? I mean, I think that's powerful because no one has it really all together.
So
That's why
true.
we're learning from each other. There
Mhm.
are things that you can impart into my life, and there are things that I can impart into your
Mhm.
life. That's why we need each other. That's why
So true.
connection is so important,
Yeah.
and so, I think, I don't know. I just think we all could benefit from each other if we're willing to do so. If we're
So
willing to
true.
learn, you
Yeah,
know.
and I mean, we're not an island. I remember, I just was raised as a high achiever. So my
Yeah.
mindset was, hey, if you want it, you can work for it, get it done, and just keep on working, and you can have all these things. And
Yep.
the Lord showed me, He was like, now you believe in Jesus, you believe He saved the world and died for everybody's sins. And He had 12 disciples. So what makes you think you could do it by yourself?
Oh my goodness, that's powerful.
Powerful.
Okay,
So
that statement was powerful.
I have been a collaborator ever since. I am like, there is no way I'm doing it by myself. I mean, that just really was a very strong epiphany. So yeah.
I love that. I'm going to
Mhm.
use that. I absolutely love that. Oh my
So
gosh, that's
yes.
powerful.
Now,
Thank you for
so
sharing that.
you're welcome. So what is the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Yeah, wow, it feels like this time just flew by.
I know.
I feel like I'm in a room talking with just me and you. I
I
really do.
know, I know. That's why I love podcasting. Everybody's like, "What? You do how many a week?" I'm like, "You just don't know. It's just I'm learning something every time I get on here. It's addictive, right?"
Wow, wow. I just loved and enjoyed our time. It was really good. Um,
Mhm.
so if people want to get a hold of me, I would love to help, help you in any way I can in regards to there are people that I've talked to that have lost their jobs. There are people that I have talked to that, they need multiple streams of income. They don't know what to do. They're interested, they don't know where to start. I've talked to single moms that need income. They don't know what to do next. And what happens is, Lachelle, if people are in that situation, it makes them vulnerable. It makes them vulnerable. And so I want to help women in that situation, overcome that vulnerability in ways. Also, so I've talked to many, many and men who have lost their jobs as well in this pandemic. And so this digital space, this digital market is
Mhm.
pretty powerful. It's a powerful thing. One of my team members was actually able to quit his job.
Mhm.
He trades 2 hours a day, and his son actually got sick, and he was able to go to the hospital in the month of November without any consequence, without thinking anything, because he had money in the bank, and he was able to cover all his costs. So it's a true story. I have a single mom who has 9 kids on my
Mhm.
team, and she's now doing really well. She's
Mhm.
also a nurse, but she is actually going to launch another division of her team, and
Mhm.
she's looking to grow exponentially. So I'm super
Mhm.
excited about that. I could go
Mhm.
on and on with testimonies and real
That is so
stories.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how people can, yeah, but I work as a team. We work as a team. And
Mhm.
so it's not just me, it's a team of people that collaborate, like what you were saying. Some of my leaders are multimillionaires, and they're just amazing.
Mhm.
They're phenomenally setting people free in this area. So if people want to genuinely connect with me, I welcome that,
Mhm.
whether it be outreach or nonprofit endeavors, collaborations, whether it be learning about building wealth.
Mhm.
Please contact me. You can do that again by my email is
Mhm.
profit for
Mhm.
FOR purpose
Mhm.
7
Mhm.
gmail.com. That's
Okay.
profit for FOR purpose
Mhm.
7 gmail.com. And so they can contact me there. Or the other alternative is iSuccessBrand.com /profit for purpose. And they can set a time, and we can set up a call. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we just want to thank
Yeah.
you so much, Tanya, for all this wealth of information, and I hope everybody was taking notes. I'm definitely a note taker, so I'll be going back and watching the replay because I love being able to get this information, but not just getting it, but implementing it. So I challenge everybody who is watching to reach out to Tanya. If something she said resonated with you, don't put it off. Don't wait till tomorrow, next week. It's
Yeah.
about taking action, getting that first step, making that phone call. You never know how it can change your outlook and the rest of your life. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below, and we will make sure that we reach out to you and answer those. But in the meantime, we want to thank you guys so much for joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you guys on the next episode. So thank you so much. You have a great day.
Yeah. You too. You too. Take care. Bye, everybody.
Bye.